Hey, hi, my name's Kappa. I've been enjoying Satisfactory for quite a while now, but I've been really having that itch to do my own solo world. Done a lot of playing with my friends on our dedicated servers, but I felt like I kind of needed a change that can go at a little bit of a slower pace at times. So, we're going to start here in the Northern Forest, skipping the onboarding process because honestly, I felt like it was going to be a little too tedious and I just wanted to jump right in. So, here we are on Massage 2ABB in the Northern Forest. I already had a general idea of where I wanted to start at. I'm kind of just looking around and making sure that I'm on the right path. It can be a little bit of a pain sometimes when you don't have a map. You can just click up because you haven't unlocked it yet. But as I get up closer here, kind of figure out where I'm at. Think like, hey, this looks a little right. Yep, that ledge looks familiar. When I scoped it out, I knew I kind of wanted to put the hub up on that ledge right now. There's our ore nodes in this area. I kind of don't want to put our factories and machines down here. Because I realized, hey, we're here. Let's get our little zapper out just in case. And let's get ready to set up. So we got our berry, and I found this doggo here. Figured why not try to tame him right out the gate. Hopefully he could help us in the long run with getting us some nice treats that could help us out. Maybe sync points, maybe get us some higher tier items just in case. There we go. We got our doggo with a long name. Are we going to change his name? I don't know. I'm going to grab a little piece of food here because I know I want to set the hub up top here. We're going to just start cleaning this whole area out. We're going to be gathering a whole bunch of leaves, a whole bunch of wood just to kind of give us this head start. It's going to do a 2-for-1 deal. We're going to get it all cleared out for our hub and our foundations when we unlock them, as well as getting us enough fuel to be able to burn leaves at first, then convert into biomass and solid biofuel after that. Just keep our biofuel jennies going and keep our factory alive, pumping out all the parts that we're going to need. Going to get the rest of this area cleaned out, and then we'll join back when we get this area figured out of where we're going to be placing the hub as the temporary start. So we've got our whole area where our hub is going to be going all cleared out for now, aside from any of the trees. So I just wanted to come over here, take a look over the edge, take a look at where the ore deposits are, kind of get an idea of where I wanted the hub exactly and what direction I wanted in. Then I realized it's really not too important right now because we're just going to redo this once we get some more materials and get our foundations in. I don't particularly care if we're going to have the tree clipping at all through here, again, just because it's temporary, so I'm just kind of getting it down, but at least not having the tree being completely in the way. So boom, there it is. We got our hub. We can hear the ship coming down. We're going to be storing all of our leaves and stuff out of the inventory to make room for other stuff. Now, I'm just kind of looking here at the milestones, kind of planning out what route I want to go with unlocking things. Any of the times we've played on our servers, there really wasn't a preferred path that we would go every single time, like a same static route. We kind of just go with what is going to help us now and maybe 1 or 2 steps in the future. I'm just kind of looking here. It's been a while since I've been at the beginning, planning out which route I wanted to go that's going to kind of fit my play style right now. So we're just going to go get our foundations first, kind of be able to, once we unlock other things, place more down in a more efficient manner, being able to make things a bit more satisfactory. So now we're getting our power poles set up, getting sent to run out to all of our Mark 1 miners since we're skipping over the portable miners. Figure let's run them out as we go to build so that way we don't have to double back and reconnect everything up. Even though we do still have to come back and feed some fuel into those biomass burners. At least it's a start. But as you can see, as we peep down here at this copper node, we got a little friend down here. So I'm trying to figure out where I want the poles to go from here and continue out. And undecided, I decided to just jump down, clear him out, keep the thought going. There we are. There's the copper node. I'm looking at my lines. How do I want this to come down? What direction do I want my miner to come out? Where do I want the power lines to go? So it's not a complete mess when we have to go back and kind of pretty these things up once we get more parts unlocked. So we get this little hand mine the top node off. Then we're going to be pulling out our Mark 1 miner and just figuring out what angle we're going to go. And I'm like, yep, close enough. That looks good. Let's just throw it here, call it out. Now, you know, sometimes you're in a rush to get some materials and those with a keen eye may know a little mistake that I make here. Kind of comes back to bite me a little bit because I don't notice this for quite a few more minutes as to what's going on. But in a few here, you'll get to see the problem. So we're grabbing our power pole from right up top by our copper node, bringing it all the way over so that we're going to be able to power our limestone and our iron area. Plopping that down, moving on forward, and if you listen closely, you can hear that nice, wonderful sound of what I do believe at the time is a Mercer sphere. And kind of since we're out in the open, don't really have anything above us, then I'm like, oh, there must be a cave around here. Kind of gets me a little worried because, as you know, you play this game, anything, if there's one thing that's likes caves in this game, and it's spiders. And those that know spiders in this game realize they are not fun. So I kind of want to go exploring for it, but at the same time, a little too apprehensive and kind of want to wait for a little bit more attack power. You never know if you're going to face one of those big boys or an alpha one. We get our iron miner here. Mark 1 miner on our iron node. Place that down, and yet again, make the mistake another time. Still haven't caught on yet. So now we're going to be placing these belts down, popping them into power, moving on to our another iron node. Iron miner 2 placed. Mistake happening yet again. Who knows? Piping it in. We're just going to hook that puppy back up to power after choosing the recipe. Kind of just getting too excited with what's to come with a fresh start. Because there's just something about a fresh start in this game that's just, you know, it's like a fresh canvas. You know, it's whatever your mind can come up with. And anybody you that don't know, if you grab your power line, you can click it directly onto, or I should say the power pole, clicking it directly onto the power line, it will just add it right in line. So we've got things hooked up to power. I said, yes, all right, beautiful, looking good. Still haven't caught on to my mistake. And let's move down and get our limestone piped in so we can start making some concrete. Fully in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, we're making moves, boys. We're making moves. Not knowing, nothing's happening at all. So we're going to be clearing this limestone out. We're going to get our Mark 1 miner on this, get our concrete going. And I believe when I'm setting this up, we make the mistake another time. And ding, ding, ding. There it is. Didn't even catch on that point. We're clearing some of this grass out because, A, it's going to clean the area up a little bit more. And not only that, gives us some more bonus fuel. Right now, yep, I say looking good. Clear it out. Another mistake. But we're still going to line this puppy up and wonder why things are not working. Select the recipe. Bada bing, bada boom. Get our power. No problem. We're cruising in my mind. I'm saying, you know what? This is great. And this is when I realize, oops. Don't have any more cable. So we gotta venture back, get some more cable. As I'm venturing back to get some more cable, I realize that I'm kind of right near where our doggo is, so let's take a look on him. Boom, look at that, stators right out the gate. This guy's gonna come in handy as long as he doesn't glitch through the world and he stays alive. Here's where I say, oh yeah, no problem, let's put some leaves in. That's my problem. No power is actually getting sent out to the machines. Fully confident. Yep, let's split this stack. Let's throw them in. Yeah, I know. Blah, blah, blah. We all know that sound. We've all been there a time or two. So let's start it back up. Let's get all happy. Power grid working. Our production is meeting our demand for our machines. Let's move on. Let's go grab materials. And I'm thinking, we got our miner on, but why isn't that doing anything? Oh, it must be the power line. Gotta be the power line. And that's when I realize I'm missing some cable. So let's go grab some wire from here. Wait a second. Wait, well, this is running. What's the problem? Or I still have not caught on to my problem. So we're making some copper ingots here so that we can make some more copper wire, turn it to cable to get more power lines in. And we decide to go back and say, yeah, the cable was the problem. All right, perfect. We powered that up. And in my mind, we're making wire, baby. We're making big wire. So here is where I wanted to put our little temporary biomass facility, converting our leaves into everything. But realizing I kind of need a couple more parts here. So let's go down stockpile by throwing some of these out here. And yet, still have not realized my mistake. Oh, we're going to be going here. Yep, look at that. Don't even pay attention. Don't even check to make sure it's working. We just placed that puppy. We are along and running. Fully confident this is going to work out. Another little trick you don't know, you can sample your buildings by highlighting it and clicking it on the middle mouse button. And then that way it can save you from having to go into your build menu over and over and over again. And at this point with setting things up, still mistake not found, but I'm just kind of throwing things down because I do plan on coming back to this area with more foundations and making this a bit more pretty. And this is about the time when I realize, wait a minute. I have the ore. Why is it not making things? Let's check this one. Why is this not making anything? And then we realize, oops, we made a slight mistake. We kind of forgot the first process, and that is putting our smelters down to create ingots before it goes in our constructors. So we kind of have to refix this little hiccup. But hey, that's satisfactory. You know, your mind is always going a mile a minute on 18 million different projects. So you kind of get a little distracted sometimes. So we realize we need some more copper wire to finish this build. So we're going to throw down a crafting bench, craft some more wire up, and get on our way with this project. So we've got our wire crafted to finish up our miners. I decided to come down here to our concrete, hook our power line back up that I remembered wasn't there to figure if we found any mistakes with this one, then I can go back and fix them all at the same time. Not even thinking, limestone doesn't even need a smelter. But I'm just kind of in that paranoid state right now of like, oh, does this work? So here we are, checking it out. Is anything coming from the miner? No, why not? Maybe I missed the recipe. Oh, didn't miss the recipe. And then as I'm checking that, I can hear the miner going. I'm like, ah, okay, so it is running. Just takes a little bit of a boot up time. We're back over to the iron now. We're going to hook our smelters back up in to get our production back up and running so we can finally start getting some parts made and making our life a little bit easier here in the early game. We get our constructors put back in, finally, and then we will be piping that back down into those storage bins so that we will be good to go for our future endeavors. Now we're at the area just outside the hub where I wanted to get my automated biomass area set up crafting. I don't want to make anything too crazy yet, just enough to keep it going so that I don't have to stop burning just leaves and I can get a bit more fuel efficiency out of the biofuel, which will then turn into the solid biomass. But since we don't have the solid biofuel recipe unlocked yet, we're just doing this with biomass so that I can still hand load it and not tear through any of the biomass we make, so we can just stockpile that solid biofuel, A, for the chainsaw, B, to make some liquid biofuel eventually for our jetpack, as well as for our biofuel jennies. So as I've gone back to check on supplies and check our stuff, make sure it's still working, I see that power slug up there, and I'm checking out that big archway, knowing how this game likes to stash things away, and figure, let's take a little break here. I think there's a way up over here where I should be able to get that power slug. Kind of just taking this as a little bit of a detour break, kind of focus our thoughts on where I want to go next and what I want to do. So we make it up this ledge, head on over to where the power slug is. Still hearing another Mercer Sphere sound. I'm not quite sure if that's the same one as the other one I heard before, if it's another one. But we're still going to maintain our venture on for this slug. I saw where it's at, saw some food over here, so might as well grab that. As we grab this slug here, we're taking a nice little look over our whole area. See what it looks like, kind of give us a mental picture and where we can expand to make some more things. Grab this other food that I saw before, and I think I come over here, and we're going to head up on that archway and see if there's anything up there worthwhile for us. Even if there's nothing up here for us to grab, it's going to be a great vantage point of the whole area that we have to work with and give me that mental picture we just spoke about of what to do and where to expand with. See another doggo down there. Kind of gives me an idea. Maybe we can tame him. Accidentally fall off. Try to time that slide to take as little damage as possible. And then we go to tame another doggo. And we should be getting our other doggo tamed here, even though he kind of ran away all the way over to where our copper miner is at. But we still have pretty big success at getting another buddy on our side. Doggo with long name, part 2. Continue back on with our journey where we were going before. And that's when I noticed the slug at the top of the arch. I said, well, kind of should have just waited on that archway venture of jumping off and going for the doggo, so we'll just collect some more supplies on our way, and we will head back up to that archway, grab that slug, and continue on. So we've made it back up onto the arch. We grab our slug, and then we're going to take another look at our area from this angle. We can see more limestone down there that I wanted to go after, so I figure let's head back and go back to the... Oh, that was a big shock, big of a letdown. And, you know, sometimes accident happens, whether Fix-It approves of it or not. So, here we go, back at the hub, and we take a look at our wonderful sign of 0 days since last incident, which could very well be the moral of this story. After recovering from our death, I figure it's probably time we should go turn some things in, get our first milestone checked off since we have the materials. So we hit that big, beautiful red button, and since it's our first milestone, we take a look back and watch our wonderful ship just go take off, blast off, and listen to Ada ramble on.
Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall.
Oh, our ship's taking off. We're heading back. Going to look at what another milestone we want to do next. I'm kind of thinking splitters from the logistics, but also at the same time, I kind of want the map, and I also want the solid biofuel from the chainsaw, but I figure, you know what? Getting our splitters mergers is going to help out. See the list there, taking a mental note of what we need and how many materials so I can go gather those and come back as soon as possible and unlock them. Checking our storage for our leaves. I know our power's good, so figure let's take a little stop off. Check out our doggo buddy. See what he got. Iron plates. Fantastic. We're going to need more of those. Next part of the process here, I figured I'd finally get a couple foundations thrown down just to give myself a little bridge up on top of this cliff and make my life a little bit easier. I'm kind of sick and tired of jumping around the one way because there's no real convenient way up here from down where my machines are at. So we get our foundations, throw some ramps down, get them out where they need to go, and then after we get this placed, I just run down, grab some more of the leaves and wood because A, it cleans it up, and like we said 8 million other times, it's going to be more fuel for our biofuel jennies to keep our factory running in a tip-top shape. So we're going to get this whole area all cleared up, and then I think after this, I'm going to go head out, grab more leaves, clean more of the area up, so then that way it's can make a little progress while I'm waiting for more parts to roll in to complete our milestones. So as I'm out gathering more leaves for more biofuel, I start hearing this noise. Kind of has me a little bit worried, and I say, oh, that looks like a cave. I bet where the Mercer Sphere is that we were hearing before by our iron stuff. Very, very nervous to go down in this cave, but I'm already here. So might as well try. See if we got any of them little spider boys in here, and there we see the Mercer Sphere, creeping slowly, checking our corners. All looks clear, so we go in, we grab this puppy for our very first Mercer Sphere of the save. Kind of gives me a great sense of progression.
The astrobiologist Dr. D.M. Mercer was the first to recognize the presence and probable nature of these alien artifacts. These chain-melted state spheres are named in his honor. Each sphere emits a unique signal and will require study to determine local application, store it for later use.
These are one of the many things in this game that it really shows how much detail Coffee Stain has put into this. These little caves are absolutely so gorgeous. Not only that, but we get a nice little head start with our mycelium coming from all these, which will come in handy for being able to give us a parachute early on, to be able to go with our blade runners. That's kind of a high priority I want to get because I can't stand jumping around with no blade runners or running around with no blade runners. You know, you got to slide jump everywhere, jump up on top of the foundations, and do all that little magic. So we're just going to clear out this cave, all the mycelia, and continue on with our journey. Then, after our successful spiderless cave journey for our Mercer Sphere, we got enough materials after stopping back at our storages. Figure let's knock this milestone out, deposit our stuff, hit that big red button, send our ship off, and then I'll go top off our biofuel generators, check our fuel situation, and figure out the next step of where we're going to go.
Reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to save space and enhance the productivity of your factory. Fix-It encourages you to consider investing in verticality when it comes to factory logistics. If you feel stressed by this complexity, imagine yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean. Breathe in. Visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out. Feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
So after checking out our biofuel jennies, I realized I forgot to choose the next milestone. And I think on this one, we decided to go with our obstacle clearing so that not only we can get our solid biofuel recipe, we can also get our chainsaw so we can take out that tree down at the bottom of our ramp, clear out the trees up top by our hub here, and get a little bit more progress going until we can foundation the area up. Taking again that mindful note of what materials are needed, and being the stubborn and impatient person, I don't want to wait for our machines to start making these things, so I just start handcrafting a bunch of the different materials and then some so that we can knock this out and maybe have some more materials to move on to the next milestone. So we've done our handcrafting, got enough stuff here to knock out our obstacle clearing, to get our next objective checked off.
Milestone reached. Solid biofuel, created from any biomass, ensures maximum efficiency of biomass burners. To aid in biofuel production, the chainsaw allows for the removal of tougher wood and coral foliage. Additionally, your pocket dimension has been inflated to increase inventory size. Inspirational note: will you be the Fix-It Employee of the Month? You could be if you construct, automate, explore, and exploit by eliminating all obstacles to efficiency. This isn't just fun, it's contractually mandated fun, fun, fun.
Now we get on to our fun. Checking out some more of the milestones, figuring out which direction I want to go next. I'm kind of stuck between the map or getting our logistics mark II, just because we have our pure nodes around us, and figure that may help it a little bit easier when we go back redesign, since we already have our splitters and our mergers, so we can take advantage of being able to fit more than 60 items on a belt at once, since I believe the base rate for the Mark I miners on a pure node is 120 items. Still, tossing and turning, trying to figure out what we want to do before we finally settle on knocking out getting our logistics mark II and going from there. We got our stuff for our logistics mark II. Let's get that launched, get that out of here, and knock it out of the park.
Milestone reached. Fix-It would like to remind you of your contractual obligation towards efficiency. Recreational use of belts and lifts does not count towards work hours and will put you on the list. Stay efficient, don't disappoint Fix-It.
So not only selecting our field research gives us our map, but it gives us our MAM, which is going to allow us to get our blade runners to run even quicker. So here we are, because I'm stubborn yet again, doing some handcrafting, because I just kind of want to get a few more things unlocked via the milestones as well as the research to be able to really go back and get this starter area kind of how I want to be and not be limited by certain things and then feel that compulsive need to go back and kind of redo it. After doing our handcrafting and going looting our storage bins for our materials, we were able to get enough stuff to knock out our field research, hit that big red button so that we can hear little Ada and check this milestone off.
Milestone reached. Supply the molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, with local resources to research and develop new technologies. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency and alignment with Fix-It's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fix-It's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract.
And to continue on with our exploring and exploiting, figuring out which milestone we're going to go for next, whether it's the part assembly or whether we get our sink and our shop, as well as the build gun customizer, because everybody knows you got to customize it to make it your own. We chose the resource sink, and then we are going to continue on with our journey. So after doing all that, it felt like it was kind of time to place our MAM down, take a look at our resource trees, and see what we've gathered through our minor exploring and moving on here to get this research going and progress towards our blade runners, as well as being able to do our power shards and overclocking, underclocking, all of that.
The remains researched belong to an organism now dubbed the fluffy-tailed hog. It has many characteristics that would likely classify it among the Suidae family were it native to Earth. Hog remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving pioneer safety during exploration. The remains researched belong to an organism that tends to nest near objects emitting specific types of resonance. Spitters are called as such due to their ability to create and spit plasma across long distances. Spitter remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving pioneer safety during exploration. Mercer sphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of massage 2, AB, in the local Mercer sphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercer spheres can also transmit data between specific.
Witness our scripture, witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing us a song.
Arguing the existence of intelligent alien life. While Fixit has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable. The mycelial networks of these fungi possess unusually resilient hyphae, which show potential for making a strong but lightweight natural fabric. Additionally, it has similar medicinal and pest control applications to mycelia on Earth. Research completed. Fabric recipe unlocked. New mycelia research available. This fruit, dubbed the paleberry due to its tendency to stay light in color even when ripe, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research is available. This mushroom, dubbed bacon agaric due to its uncanny resemblance to raw bacon, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research is available. This semi-slug, now dubbed power slug, is early in its life cycle and has retained only part of its potential energy storage capacity, giving it its blue color. Power slugs are capable of extracting latent energy from their surroundings, including through a form of photosynthesis, and preserve it in their porous semi-crystalline shell over their lifetime. This explains why they rarely move after having found a suitable location. Overclocking development completed. Power shards can now be inserted into all buildings to increase input and output speed. Underclocking is also possible. Note: power consumption of overclocked buildings increases exponentially. This unknown chemical element was in reality an unusual mixture of solid sulfide and sulfate materials from which sulfur can be extracted. Sulfur's primary use lies in fertilizers, which we have no use for. Instead, this element enables access to more volatile obstacle clearing and pioneer defending tools. power slugs extract latent energy from their surroundings to sustain themselves. By tuning the object scanner to the particular potential energy signature, it is now able to locate them against the background environmental static.
And after all that research, we just knocked out of the park here. I'm just taking a little quick breather look over the research tree after, seeing what our choices we have remaining, because I really want the parachute, I really want the Blade Runners. Those are kind of the top priority for me right now. And after doing some more handcrafting, looting our storage containers, and a tiny bit of minor exploring and cleaning up around our area, we're finally able to hit our big red button, get our resource sync program out of the way, and listen to Ada again.
Milestone reached. You have been given access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on Exoplanet's bonus program, also known as Awesome. Your awesome input allows Fixit to comprehend our amazing universe more clearly. In appreciation of this, we have generously set up an internal, closed economy with exclusive rewards in currency. Directing parts of varying quantity and complexity into the Awesome Resource Sink will grant Fixit coupons. These coupons can be redeemed in the Awesome Shop for highly desirable items such as new foundations, walls, factory attachments, cosmetics, parts, and more. Next time you have additional resources, just remember to go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
After knocking out that milestone, I figured it was about time to go back and do some more research. So we're going to knock some of these out. Here at Ada's Ramblings.
Research completed. Alien protein can now be turned into biomass or alien DNA capsules. In addition to being used for research, the invaluable alien lifeform data in these capsules can be traded for Fixit coupons at the Awesome Sink. We guarantee the best capsule to coupon exchange rate anywhere on this planet.
Here's where I decided to go with part assembly for our next milestone. Never really used the jump pads other than for entertainment purposes, so we're going to kind of skip over those for right now. So I knew there was quartz somewhere north of our base. I finally found it when I was out looking for it. I came prepared with some portable miners. I'm trying to find the safe way down. I know there's a pathway down there. I just don't know where the entrance is to it. So as I'm looking, I find this nice little yellow slug here. Figure we're going to grab him before we get down and mine some of the quartz to take back so we can do some research. As we're up here on the ledge, I just feel like this is prime area for a baddie to be. So kind of just casing it out and making sure, and there we go, we see him. So now I'm trying to find the safest way down to take the minimal amount of health loss so we can go attack him. A nice little ledge here, trying to see where he went. Oh, find him. Time to jump on top of him, do the damage, stake claim to our area, and gather his loot. Figure come on over, mine these big bits, eventually get our portable miners down so we can do a little bit more ore gathering before we head back, and finally get our Blade Runners. If anybody who's played this game knows, it's really hard to no longer use Blade Runners after you just get so used to having them so long on other worlds or other saves. Let's place these puppies down and gather some resources. After getting enough quartz for what I think should be good for our research to get our Blade Runners and whatever else, I figure let's go back up this entranceway. Once we get to the top, I'm going to pull out some foundations, mark it off, and so that way at least we have this nice big tower so we know where to go from here on out from our base, since this is kind of in a nice little mall crevice area. Kind of makes it a little bit hard to see, especially with all the foliage around. Honestly, I have no clue why I decided to start mining this ore, since we already have our ore being processed, but, you know, you're wandering around, you see something, you go, ooh, shiny, I need to take that. So we finally get out to the edge here. Figure gather a little bit more while we clear this out, make it a little bit easier to see. And then right about here, said, yep, this is a good place for our foundation tower to mark it off. We have a nice big landmark so we know where to go back to return when we want to automate any of this stuff. And as we make our way back to the base, I am super eager to finally get into this quartz tree, spec into it so we can see what is needed to get to our wonderful Blade Runners, as well as all the cool things we can get with quartz, like our signs.
The crystalline mineral was a previously unknown variation of quartz, with uniquely large and flawless crystals, normally only found in synthetic quartz. The industrial application of this mineral will follow that of its synthetic counterpart, specifically in communication and exploration technologies.
And I'm so eager to get started that I'm trying to look for the recipe for the processed quartz as well as the silica, and I completely forgot that I still had to research it in the tree.
Research completed. Quartz crystal recipe unlocked. New quartz research available. Research completed. Silica recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
After finally getting that part of the research tree done to our Blade Runners, I decided to take a look at what was needed for parts assembly, what I needed, what I didn't have. And you guessed it, after some more handcrafting, looting our storage bins, finally have enough stuff to be able to knock out our part assembly, listen to Ada one more time, and move on to being able to work on our research to get our Blade Runners and other goodies.
Milestone reached. The assembler can produce more complex parts, including the first project part, smart plating, which is crucial for initiating project assembly. Project parts must be delivered to the space elevator. By completing your contracted duties as part of project assembly, you will definitely be helping achieve Fix-It Company goals without any other ulterior motive. Note: humans cannot craft project parts. Do not worry about your inadequate crafting skill when compared to an assembler. Fix-It cherishes your innate human abilities, such as walking, striking objects, and commodifying natural resources.
As I was out exploring, I got a little too confident coming up here with this big boy hog. I figured if I could bait him away, get behind that sloop, I could use that sloop for coverage, so I could pick it up and quickly jump off the edge. However, every time I kept coming close, it kept moving, or it wouldn't start right away, and then that happened. Looking down, realizing, well, falling right to my death. Then after that little fiasco, we respawn, head over to our man, knock out a little bit more of the research with some of the stuff we got on our exploring.
The remains researched belong to an organism with 8 jointed legs, similar to the legs of arachnids but with non-standard distribution and function. Because its attacks focus on stabbing prey with the ends of their legs, which resemble insectoid stingers, they have been dubbed stingers. Stinger remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving Pioneer safety during exploration.
And on that note, you can see that I ran into some spiders out there. Luckily, they were only the little ones, so it was no problem to take on with a zapper. But if it was a big one, oof, that could have been a different story.
Summer sloop analysis completed. Summer sloops are somewhere between battery and conduit, harvesting energy from pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it into its connected ecosystem. This energy,
Let the effigies harvest until the waves reach our shores. Consume.
similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially be one and the same. It can now be tracked by the object scanner. The metal has been named Caterium after Fix-It's greatest CEO Katerina Parks. It has been added as a viable alternative to gold in industrial applications, specifically in advanced electronics due to its superconductivity, malleability, and corrosion resistance. Research completed. Caterium ingot recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available. Medical properties of local mycelia established. New research options available. Medical inhaler variants. Blade runners unlocked. Equipped to run faster, jump with greater force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to fix it.
After we researched our Blade Runners, it's time to research our parachute to give us a bit better movement, as well as a bit more safety when we're out and about.
Parachute unlocked. Fix-It appreciates your willingness to descend rapidly to perform your duties, but damaging Fix-It property is a breach of contract and will have unpleasant consequences. Improve descent efficiency by combining the forces of gravity and drag with a parachute.
And on that note, it's time to do a little bit of more final handcrafting for the day. Get our parachute, get our Blade Runners, so that we can be living the good life. And with our final bit of handcrafting done for the day, time to go over, craft our parachute, craft our Blade Runners, so that now we're equipped to have a little bit of a better travel time when we're out here building around, and to have a bit of more of a safety net when we are out exploring around. So I'm just coming up here onto this, time to equip our new toys, just taking a nice little overlook of our area, trying to plan out what we're going to do for organizing this a bit more now that we have the things unlocked that we want to be able to use. So that means in the next episode, we're going to get this all laid out with foundations. We're going to get more machines in here, producing more items. On top of that, we're also going to be getting our biofuel generator area set up to be able to produce more power. We're going to be automating more of the solid biofuel to pump in there, so we don't really have anything much to worry about. And there is a perfect example of what the actual jump is like. So, anybody that has stuck it out this long in the episode, I truly, truly appreciate it. I know this has kind of been a little bit more of a boring thing, kind of how Satisfactory starts out. You got a bit of a long grind in there before things really start cooking. But I just wanted to jump into this, try it out. The next episode, we're going to be having a different type of style. I just want to try it out to see which one I like better and kind of go from there. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you tune in next time.